if he wants to cheat, just let him. I feel like this is a topic that's not talked about enough to women, especially young women. I wish it was something that someone would have taught to me, that I would have heard or understood, but it wasn't. So now I'm talking to y'all about it. And hopefully by the end of the video, you get what I'm saying and you agree with me. I know the background is a little bit different. I'm back home for the holidays, so I'm at my grandparents' house. So it is grandparents' housey. But we're going to get straight into it. And of course, here are the chapters for the video. So first, I want to talk about this topic because personally, in my experience, when it comes to even my family, myself, my friends, I feel like the ending of relationships often happens due to infidelity. Now, don't get me wrong. There's other things that contribute due to it, lack of communication, sometimes lack of funds, children, different things like that. But I can say in my personal experiences, as far as people close to me, that's been the biggest thing to break up relationships. And not only break up relationships, break up women. Break women down. And I feel like we need to talk about this more as far as like, what does it mean to allow someone to cheat on you, and my personal advice on what to do in the situation. Obviously to each his own, different case scenarios, but it just, you get what I'm saying, it does differentiate, but this is what I think. First and foremost, I feel like especially for our generation, one of the things that builds up one of the biggest insecurities is our thought process of, if I do this, then he will do that, right? If I do the right thing, or if I'm on him about this, then he will do this and I'll get the right outcome. And I say more so for our generation, or my generation, for the simple fact that now we have social media. So it's easier to be a detective. It's easier to be on top of somebody. And I feel like we all joke about that. Like, we be like, everybody be like, oh, I have that friend that could find, you know, this girl or this guy in a certain amount of time, or I have this or I have that. And I feel like when it comes to cell phones, you could track locations. I'm not, you know, saying to do this, but even if you have an earpod, you can put it in somebody's car, track the earpod. They don't even know it's under the seat. Now you got their location. There's a lot of stuff that you could do as far as checking, you know, even if somebody delete the messages off of their iPhone, it's probably still on their laptop and possibly still their iPad. Now, I'm not making suggestions. I'm just telling y'all what I know. I say that to say now it makes it easier to have these lump sums of insecurities that previously I feel like generations kind of really didn't have, because it's like you didn't think nobody was texting on their phone, like, because there was no texting. And it was also a thing of, if I don't know where you at, I don't know where you at. Like, nowadays we actually can be investigators. Nowadays you could find out where somebody at. Somebody post a picture, you like, oh wait, is that so and so in the background? It could be a concert full of people and you could see your man right there, that little tiny dot. Everybody like, who is that? No, you don't see it. Zoom in. You see a pot poop dot. Calm down. Calm down. And I say that to say, it builds up this insecurity that if I do this, I'll get this outcome. I'm a big advocate of, like, and I get it, we're all different, but I personally feel like I don't want to check your phone. I don't want to have your location. I don't want to have all these things, because I personally feel like it shows a representation of me not having trust in you, me not having confidence in you. If you do not have confidence in something or someone, you're constantly checking that thing. When you have confidence in something, you're not checking that thing. Similar to how when you wake up in the morning, right? When you wake up, you just literally get up and go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, hopefully. But most people do not sit there and be like, are my legs gonna work today? Because you have confidence in that thing. You get what I'm saying? When I put my arms up like this, I have confidence that my arms are gonna rise and they're not gonna fall. Because why? I've built up that confidence in that. I don't have to question that thing. And so I'm a big advocate of, if I have to have some kind of reinsurance, that means there's a lack of confidence that I have in you and this relationship, whatever the case may be. And I personally don't want to deal with that. So I'm very big on, like, not doing too much of the technology, too much of the checking, because I feel like it comes with a lack of confidence. But then also you have to ask yourself, why are you doing this thing? Like, there's some people who have put you in situations before where you've caught them doing things, or you found out about some stuff. So now you did have confidence in them, but then you lack it. But I'm a big advocate of, a person is going to do whatever they want to do. So you could check that phone. He's emailing somebody on that laptop. You could have that location. He's using his homeboy car. It's a thing of, I feel like, don't have this mindset that if you put a hard, you know, chain on somebody, you really want somebody, you're gonna stop doing what they do. No, they're just gonna find other ways to do it. So now you over here looking like Boo Boo the Fool, running around town thinking you know something, but then it's also like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, I feel like a lot of women also want to know, just to be like, oh, I know what you be doing. Okay, what's the difference between somebody that do or don't know if you ain't gonna do nothing about it? But like I said, it comes with a lack of confidence, because I feel like it comes with that in a sense of you always checking. And then I feel like it also comes with the idea that, like I said before, if you do this, he'll do this, right? And I feel like that also comes with how women act. I feel like nowadays, especially when I see posts, I really don't like posts of women bashing other women, because at the end of the day, your man is the one that decided to be with her. Your man is the one that tells you every night he loves you, but then with her. So why are you like, I'm not saying it's okay to be with other people men, but at the same time, I feel like girls would be out here posting about this other girl, shading her, talking junk about her, but then be still laid up with that man. That's the one who's supposed to have your best intentions. That's the one that's supposed to have your heart, but you're mad at her, a person you don't even know. And I say that to say there becomes this competition, whether it's publicly, consciously or subconsciously, of like, oh, I know how to cook so I could keep a man. Oh, I know how to wash clothes. Oh, I got a degree so I'm educated, I can keep a man. Let me tell you, a man can only be kept if he wants to, because you could sit up there and you could read entire Martha Stewart's cookbook, know from the top to the back, know how to make Patti LaBelle pies from scratch, and I promise you he's gonna go mess with that girl who bought the Patti LaBelle pie from the store. And learn, a high value woman is not real. And I hate to say that, but like sometimes you have to be honest with yourself, in a sense of, just because you have these things and these accolades, you might have went to college, you might have this nice car, just because you value something does not mean someone else values something, right? There's cars out there that people like, oh, I drive a 1978 Ford so-and-so, and to them that's a high value car. There's some other individuals such as myself that don't really care about old cars, so I don't think that car is value. But there's people who will pay thousands of dollars to go to car shows and see a whole bunch of cars like that. I say that to say, just like they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, value is in the eye of the beholder. So don't feel like, oh, you're more valuable than another woman because you have this and you did this and you did that. That man will value a woman who has quote unquote less than you more than you. It's just based upon how that individual is. You get what I'm saying? It's all based upon that individual's perception. So stop thinking that you can think for that person. Oh, if I have this, then he won't do this. Why he doing this? Did I have all this? Stop looking. I think sometimes the issue is sometimes as women, like we consider ourselves to be high value for the things that we have or the things that we've done. But you have to understand, value is all based upon perception. One thing that's value, what they say, one man trash, another man's treasure. Stop thinking that if you build up this value in yourself, other individuals will look at you a certain way or deal with you a certain way. At the end of the day, a person's going to do what they want to do. Don't have this mindset that just because you do this or just because you do that, that you're going to get the right outcome. It's based upon the person. Like at the end of the day, and I feel like sometimes I do feel, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge woman advocate, but sometimes I do feel like certain women say they do certain things or do certain things in the hopes of it'll keep a man, in the thought process of, oh, if I do this and I do that, then he's gonna want to be with me. And it's kind of like, don't have that mindset, because he will go mess with that person that can't do half the stuff that you could do. Like I said before, the only thing that could keep a man is a man that wants to be kept. So stop thinking that you have all these accolades and you could do all these things and you have this long list of resume of all these things you do for your man. He's gonna mess with somebody that can't do it. And it honestly has nothing to do with you. It could be the littlest thing. She rubbed his ear at night and his mama used to rub his ear at night and it makes him miss his mom. Like there's this idea, like I feel like there becomes this insecurity sometimes when a man does something else, that sometimes you look at that woman. It's not to say like, oh, I don't mess with her or whatever. Well, I don't think you would, but in a sense of not to put her down, but sometimes you look at it in a reflection of yourself. Like, what does this person do that I don't do? What does this person have that I don't have? And I'm not gonna lie, I've done that before as well. Because sometimes it's like you feel like you're doing everything right. And you're like, what could be going wrong? Like, if everything's going right, why would you do this? Why would you do that? And so sometimes you look at somebody else like, oh, maybe her nose is a little smaller than mine. Maybe she do make more money than me. Maybe she do drive a nicer car. Like, because you're trying to figure out what is wrong with you that's different from this person that will make them choose you over this person. And I promise you, sometimes it's just a person. It's literally just a person. And I feel like that's something that you can't replicate. That's something that you can't retry to do. You can't try to become. So it becomes a thing of you realizing either I'm going to stay with this person or I'm not, based upon what they're doing. But I feel like there's always that level of insecurity you're going to have dealing with somebody that has cheated before, dealing with somebody that has whatever the case may be. And you often look at that person that they're dealing with in a sense of like, what do that person have? And I promise you, it's nothing you could replicate. And it doesn't make that person better than you. It don't make that person worse than you. It's not even a comparison to that person. And that's what I hate when it comes to women, because it becomes a comparing thing. Oh, this person do this, or she got this, or she got that, or she don't got nothing on me, or I got my own place. She still live at home with her parents, or I drive this car. She don't even got a car. And it's like, that's not even the reason why. And the real reason why that person chose that person over you, you may never find out. But you have to go to sleep cool with that at night. You have to be okay with that, because if you're constantly worrying about why did this person do this or why did that person do that, you're going to drive yourself mad. And then that's what happens. I feel like a lot of times when women become haters of other women, you're hating on this woman, and this whole time she first and foremost didn't even know about you. Let's acknowledge that fact. I hate when a woman messes with another woman's man unknowingly, right? He's never posted about you. It is okay if he never posted about you. I'm not talking about posting, but just in general, like, just be honest with yourself. Like, he probably told her that he's single. He probably told her that he's with nobody. Like, you over here mad at this girl, and it's like she had no idea. So now you're hating on her. Now you have an unspoken beef with her and a problem with her, when the problem should be with the man. And like I said before, that's what really gets me when women all the time. And then you really have to sit back with yourself. How many women do you have problems with? How many people in general do you have issues with over this individual? This is the person that keep putting other people above you. This is the person that keep choosing other people before they choose you. And what you keep doing, choosing them. So you're not even choosing yourself no more, because you're so hell-bent on, oh, that she should never did this to me, or why she must have my man. That's my man, my man, my man. That's y'all man. And if you're okay with that, by all means, be okay with that. But at the same time, stop getting mad at other people for what that individual is causing and or doing. I personally feel like it honestly has to become a thing of you staying or you leaving. And that's why I captioned the video, the name of the video is, if he wants to cheat, let him. Because after a certain amount of time, you have to realize you compare yourself to other women, you tracking his phone, you cooking every single night, you doing all these other things, and he's still not doing essentially what you want him to do. He's still cheating. He's whatever the case may be. I feel like a lot of women have to be honest with themselves, or either you're going to keep letting him do that and honestly be quiet and be, you know what I'm saying, stay quiet about it, or you're going to leave. And I feel like that does sound kind of harsh, and it does sound kind of like, dang. And I'm not telling you to stay with a man that's cheating on you. That's not what I'm saying at all. I personally don't agree with that. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes women have to be honest with themselves and ask yourself, how many times have you cried about it? How many times have you told your friends or your family about this situation? And it's just like, you're literally going insane, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. And it's like you have this idea of, you know, if you become the perfect woman and a high value woman and all this other stuff, that you will attract the right man. And I think it's also in a sense of you realizing that maybe you didn't attract the right man, and that's okay. And it's time to move on. But I feel like sometimes women have a lack of confidence to even find somebody else, right? Because you're like, oh, he treats me like this, and he does this, and he does that, he just cheats. So you even lower your standards, and you lower the confidence within yourself, because you're staying and you're going through it, because you have this idea that this individual has potential. He has potential to be better. He has potential to stop cheating. And I'm going to tell you right now, potential is not real. Potential is just what you would do if you were inside that person's shoes. Potential is not real. Like, if you really think about it, it's not. It's what you would do, the mindset you would have. But let's be honest. If it was you, you probably wouldn't even have cheated on yourself. So I say that to say, stop thinking what that person would do. Stop thinking what that, you get what I'm saying? How that person would go, or how the situation would go if things were just right. Because obviously that's not how that person thinks. So now you're thinking for that person. So now you're really hurt, because you are like, dang, I love you so much and I care about you so much. How could you treat me like this? I would never do this to you. A lot of people say that too. I would never do this to you. How could you do this to me? And sometimes you have to realize that's just that person. Like, stop seeing a potential in this person. Stop making up excuses for this person. That's just how that person is. Don't be on, oh, well, his mom, growing up, he didn't have a good relationship with his mom, and growing up, he didn't. What is that for you to mend? Is that for you to fix? Like, come to terms with the fact that you stop making up excuses for this person. Stop making up this fake potential. Either you're going to stay and allow that person to do that, or you're going to leave. I'm an encourager of the leaver, but everybody moves at their own time. And I say that to say, me personally, I feel like the longer you stay, the more you break inside. The more every situation that comes out, everything, the more you break yourself down more and more. And the reason why I said stay and be quiet is because, like I said before, all you're doing is going insane. You're saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And it's like, to a certain extent, you just have to be honest with yourself, and you're just going to become a complainer. Like, that's at a certain point, that's just what you like to do. You just like to complain about a situation, because you obviously see it's not changing. You obviously see that individual isn't moving differently. So it's like, let that, not like that, but like that, let that person do what they want to do. If they want to cheat, let them cheat. The problem that you have is that you have this mindset of, oh, you have to stay. You don't have to stay for that. You over here crying to this person, putting your feelings out there. Can you stop? Please stop. They obviously don't want to. Let that person, the biggest issue that we have is that we try to change people. People show us who they are. People will show you a lot more than they'll tell you. People like to say the greatest things about themselves and all this other stuff. People truly show you who they are. So if an individual is showing you who they are, why do you keep on trying to change them? Why do you think that they're really going to change if that's who they are? And you have to come to terms with that. Either you're going to stay and love on that person for who they are, the cheater, the liar, the deceit, all that other stuff, or you're going to build up the confidence to leave. And I feel like confidence is something that goes hand in hand with staying with the individual that cheats, because I feel like there's a very lack of confidence that you have to let somebody treat you like that, because there's a lack of standards that you have. Because when you first go into a relationship, you first start dealing with a guy. If he was to tell you up front, I'm gonna cheat on you this many times, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, you're not gonna stay for that, because you're like, wait, what? But once you start getting to know somebody, you get a connection with somebody, oftentimes we drop our standards. There's certain things that we go through or we allow that we would have never allowed before. And I'm not saying that, oh, have that tip top standards and never lower your standards and never, because I'm not gonna lie, that happens sometimes. But you have to get into the mindset and realize, is this a repeated thing? Is this person constantly making me feel this way? Is this person constantly making me feel bad about myself and making me lower my confidence and doing things to me that if it was on paper, I wouldn't have signed this. If I would have knew this before, I wouldn't have went through this. Like, stop using the excuse of, oh, I've known this person for this amount of time and I've known that person. And okay. And how long you've known yourself, longer you've known anybody else. So you're going to allow that person to treat you some way just because you knew them for a certain amount of time? You're going to allow that person to make you feel this way just because you knew them for a certain amount of time? Like, you have to really ask yourself and come to terms with that, in the sense of, a lot of times your confidence isn't high enough. You don't care. Let's be honest. You don't care that much about yourself to stop it from happening. Because if you have confidence in yourself, if you care about yourself, there's certain things you won't allow. And I've mentioned it on my video, which I have dealing with confidence. But in a sense of, if you have confidence in yourself, right? And it's of, I've mentioned it before, the same analogy, but if you're healthy, right? You're healthy, you go to the gym all the time, you eat healthy, you do all these things, right? And let's say somebody's like, oh yeah, let's go out drinking tomorrow. You're like, all right, whatever. But then they like, oh yeah, let's go drinking the next day, and then let's go eat these 3 burgers and this, da. And then also, don't go to the gym this day, don't go to the gym that day. Whoa. The first time, all right, yeah, we ain't gonna keep doing this. For the simple fact that I have a certain amount, I have standards for myself. Like, I go to the gym, I'm healthy, my body's in shape, I do all these other things. So I don't care how cute you are, I don't care how, but you can't mess that up for me, because I already built up a standard in myself. And I feel like that's how we have to be about when it comes to men. But you have to start with yourself. Like, that's why I'm very big on self-care dates. That's why I'm very big on doing things as far as building up yourself, as far as you starting to work out before you get into a relationship, you starting to start these healthy habits before, so then when somebody starts messing up the way you think about yourself, the way you move, you be like, wait, this don't even feel right. The problem is, a lot of women, they never built up healthy habits. They never built up themselves. So it's easy for somebody to break you down because you've never even built yourself up. It's easy for somebody to make you feel some way that you don't like. It's easy for somebody to cheat on you and you to stay because you don't even have a certain level of confidence within yourself. Like, I'm a big advocate of that, and I've talked about it on previous videos, but confidence is so important. Like, confidence is not just, I said it before, wearing a cute dress or just, wearing a bikini. Confidence is you not allowing a man to cheat on you because you're like, do you know who I am? You go do that to somebody else. We don't do this over here. Confidence is you starting that business because you're like, you know what? I believe in myself enough. Like, I'm really big on building up your confidence, because there's nothing that nobody could take away from you. If a man start doing what he doing, an unconfident woman is like, dang, what am I doing wrong? Maybe I could start cooking more. Maybe if I was skinnier, maybe if I was thicker, he would. A confident woman be like, you know what? You know how much time I put into doing this? You know how much time I put into building up myself and going on self-care dates? And you often notice the lack of confidence that you have in a lot of women when after the relationship, it's like, oh, I'm getting my body together. Oh, I'm focusing on building my business. Why weren't you doing that before? Why weren't you that because you had a lack of confidence in yourself and you needed to leave that person. That was a blood sucking relationship. It was sucking everything out of you. Some women even sucks the beauty out of them. There's some women that be so tired and so stressed that when they leave that relationship, they even glow different. Like, girl, you pregnant? Nah, I just left that thing alone. Like, that's what it is. But sometimes you don't realize that because you've never been good to yourself. You've never built up confidence in yourself. You never built up healthy habits for yourself. So if somebody comes along and takes away all those things from you, and it happens slowly, it doesn't happen overnight, but you don't even notice it because it's not shaking. You know what I'm saying? It's not shaking nothing. It's not making nothing rumble because you already weren't doing those things before, right? And so I say that all to say, I just wish someone would have told me this growing up or told me this at all. In a sense of, you can't change who a person is. Like I said, if he wants to cheat, let him. If he wants to do what he wants to do, like, I get it the first time you want to talk to him, you know, whatever. But if somebody keeps on doing something, that's who that person is. So instead of sitting around trying to change that person, first and foremost, ask yourself why you're even allowing yourself to go through that situation and stay there. But then second of all, you have to come to terms with the fact that that person is never going to change. So either I'm going to stay there and allow it, or I'm going to get up and leave. As y'all know already, I'm team leave. I've said it multiple times in this video. But I feel like it also comes a certain time where you have to build up that confidence for yourself. And you have to build up that, you get what I'm saying, to really do it. I think a lot of times we say it to our friends, our family, even ourselves. But it's just a matter of you either dealing with the situation and dealing with that person for who they are and just being quiet and letting them be who they are, or standing up for yourself and leaving. But it's no changing that person. Let's not get the mindset. Don't get into the thing of if you do this, then this will do this, and if you have all his location. A man that wants to be kept will be kept. A man that don't. It's nothing you can do about it. So like I said before, if that man wants to cheat, let him. Let him cheat. Let him be who he want to be. Because my thing is that you become the problem. Why are you trying to change this person? This person been this way for how many years? And now you think, oh, if you just come along and you do the right things, it'll change it. It won't. And that's okay. You have to come to terms with that and be okay with that. So I know that kind of was like, I don't know. I felt like it was a topic that needed to be talked about. I feel like it's something that's not talked about enough. I feel like it's just always the sympathy videos or it's either the, oh, leave a man that cheat on you, or it's either stay with a man. But I feel like you have to be honest with yourself. Either you're going to stay and be quiet, or you're going to leave and stand up for yourself. But I feel like those two topics, in my opinion, never really are talked about together. So I just wanted to talk about it, and just possibly give some advice. Hopefully I help somebody in that situation. Like I said, don't think it's going to come overnight, but that's why I've mentioned in previous videos, you have to build up your confidence. You have to build up your self-worth, your standards, your integrity. Like a lot of times you stay because you don't have those things. And it's one step realizing you don't have them, but then there's another step you need to take to actually doing the action steps to build them up. Because my thing is, you could cut this one person off that does this to you, but if you still don't have that confidence in yourself, you still don't have that love for yourself, you're just going to go to somebody else that's going to do the same thing. So as I always say, like, it really comes down to you. You need to build up you. You need to love on you. You need to learn about you. You need to become the best you can be. Obviously, as time goes on, you grow, but the big issue that a lot of people have is that we go into these relationships, we deal with these men, and we're half of ourselves. So they could take over the other half and the whole thing. You get what I'm saying? Build up you so much so that you have such high standards for yourself. You have such healthy habits, whatever it may be for yourself, that when something don't feel right, you like, hold on, wait. Don't be that person down the line that you want to leave. You like, but we've been together for forever. Yeah, he's been cheating on you for forever. So what we gonna do about that? I don't know. That's just my opinion. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great one.